Let's be honest, if you've been on the job hunt recently, you've probably noticed that it feels brutal. Endless online applications, ghosting, job descriptions that read like novels, and even the pesky recruiter that just kind of vanishes mid-process. If this is something that you've experienced, I've got some news for you. You're not alone. In fact, there are millions of other professionals dealing with the same frustrations as you are right now. And that is exactly why I started this channel, to help cut through the noise and provide you with the data and the strategies that you need to land your next role. Here's the reality, folks. The US labor market is in a bit of a strange spot. On one hand, we do have historically low unemployment rates, hovering around 3.8 to 4.3%. But on the other hand, what we do have is job seekers applying to hundreds of roles with little to no response. In fact, there's a recent study that came out that showed that the average corporate job listing gets over 250 applications. What's crazy about that is that only 2% of all of those applications actually get an interview. Those aren't exactly the most encouraging odds. If you pair that with the fact that now we have all these AI tools that allow people to apply en masse, we also have the situation we're dealing with where recruiters are completely overwhelmed and candidates are left in a cycle of rejection and, even worse, silence. Okay, so now that I've scared you about the whole job search and gave you some statistics that maybe weren't that favorable, I do want to dive into something that might be a little bit more fun. So we're going to head over to Reddit and we're going to go to a subreddit called Recruiting Hell, where there's a post by a guy named Brio Watercooler. Brio writes the following: I had 7 interviews, the last of which was 10-3. So far, I've heard nothing. We're coming up on 2 weeks since I've heard from them. I'm tired, Grandpa. I'm sorry, Brio, that sucks, and that's terrible, and I really do feel for you. And with this situation, unfortunately, you're not alone. I'm sure some of us have gone through that same experience of going through multiple rounds of interviews and then just being kind of ghosted. 2 weeks, it could take a little bit longer than that. And also I could say, Brio, make sure you check on those next steps next time and end the call with the interviewer to say, hey, what are we doing next? How am I going to hear from you? When should I expect to hear from you? I can give all those tips all day, but the truth is there's more problems with this than just the fact that they haven't heard from 2 weeks. So let's dissect this a little bit. 7 interviews for one role. So unless you might be going for something like CEO of like a Fortune 500 company, I don't think 7 interviews is appropriate for anything. This is my own personal opinion I'm going to share with you. If the company is interviewing you 7 times, 7 separate occasions, first off, think about your time that you're allocating to this. Each interview is most likely probably between 30 minutes to an hour. You've got prep time, you're getting ready for that, you're taking time away from other responsibilities to do these interviews. Maybe you're doing things like personality tests or aptitude tests, or even putting together a presentation for this. What I'm trying to get to is that's a lot of your time and a lot of your resources that you're investing in this process with no guarantee of a job on the other end of it. That's one thing I want to call out. 2, if the company has to interview you 7 times and then possibly have additional steps beyond that, it sounds like they might not know what they're actually looking for. So again, thank you for the Recruiting Hell subreddit. Thank you, Brio, for sharing that with us. But man, that is a terrible situation, and I don't wish that on any of you. So you may be asking, okay, what do I do when it feels like the entire system is stacked against me, and how can I actually make some traction? Is there anything I could do as a quick pivot to get me some traction on my job hunt? Well, that's what I'm here to give you, is a few quick tips to share, to go through that can help you make some quick shifts that can result in better traction and actually getting you closer to where you're trying to get with getting a new role. So I want to give you a little caveat on this. These 3 tips I'm going to give you, it's not going to be a full-on deep dive. My plan with this channel is to go deeper into these topics as we go along, give you more strategies, more examples. So this is going to be a quick hit, so I do recommend please subscribing because there will be more content that'll be coming out. Of course, like the video, anything you do to support the channel will help me out. But let's go ahead and dive into those topics. So the number 1 quick hit I'm going to give you is stop focusing only on online job applications. The reason why I say this is the number one way people still get a job today, and they've gotten this for a long time, is through referrals. So there may be this system you're going through right now where you feel like it's kind of, as I like to say, spray and pray. Is if I put in enough job applications, I have a high enough volume of job applications, I'm gonna get a pretty good return on it. Well, you know what? That does work to a certain degree, but you can be accelerating that quite a bit by leveraging your network. You may be saying, well, I don't have a very extensive network, or I don't have a network at all. Well, I can help you with that really quick. Number one is don't be completely silent about your job search. Now be careful, be guarded. You know, if you're at your current employer and you wanna make sure you kind of keep that on the down low, please do. But when it comes down to looking for a job, if you're talking to friends, family, former colleagues, or people that are in a professional position that you wanna be in, share with them, hey, I'm actually looking for something similar to you have, or here's what I'm looking for. Be able to define what you're looking for, that's important. But don't be afraid to maybe reach out to that former colleague, that former boss, somebody you had a good experience with, or someone that's in the position that you're in now, even if you don't know them. And you'll be surprised at how many people might be willing to refer you or recommend you for a job. This one, it's a deeper topic. There's a lot that goes into it. And again, we're gonna share more content on there, but get the process started. One caveat to that I wanna share is be a little careful. If you're talking to somebody that you haven't spoken to for years, for instance, you may not wanna come right out and just say, hey, help me find this job. You might wanna massage that relationship a little bit. And also, just a caveat to that, try to keep relationships alive because you never know when you might need to ask someone else for help. The second thing I'm gonna share with you is to tailor your approach. Now, again, I mentioned AI earlier and spray and pray approach of applying to a lot of different jobs. The thing that you don't want to be is you don't want to be another generic application just coming through a system, likely to be rejected by an ATS, which is an applicant tracking system. They use AI to kind of sift through the resumes and the applications for them. That's what recruiters do. So what you want to do is try to set yourself apart. Tailoring your approach means a couple things. One, tailor your resume to the job that you're applying for. ChatGPT or other AI tools are great for this. You can kind of look at the job description and maybe tailor some of the things that you're sharing about your former employment, former experience to that specific job. That can be helpful, but also you can also reach out to folks. A lot of times on the job application that they have online, you'll know who the hiring manager is, or you'll be able to easily find them if you do a quick LinkedIn search. Reach out to them. LinkedIn's got this great feature where you can actually send a personalized connection invite, and you can actually include a short message with it. AI can help you write it, but I do recommend you tailor it, personalize it to that person. Maybe look at their post history, see if you have something in common, or see if there's something that kind of stands out to you that you can include in there. Again, we'll go deeper into this topic in future videos, but tailoring your approach does yield better results than just the volume game. The last thing I'll tell you to do is track your progress. Now, for those of us who have experience in sales, we're probably familiar with this with tracking our sales opportunities in each step along the way. Now, when we're tracking our job applications, it's very important to do so. I just want to give you a quick reason why. So a few quick reasons why. One, if you're applying for a lot of jobs, you may lose track of who you apply to. And something that might be a struggle for you is, say, they actually invite you in for an interview. You come in for the interview, they said, well, why did you apply? Well, I don't know, I just needed a job. And I totally forgot I applied to you guys. That's not a good answer. You wanna figure out what your talk track's gonna be of why you applied, what resonates with this company or about this role to you, and figuring that out. So again, I'm gonna go deeper into this in some future videos, but to give you some basics on tracking, I used to do this just through a Google Sheet. A few things I would track is what company I'm applying to, what's the name of the role I applied to. I would usually include a link to the job description. Of course, the date I applied is important, but also I'd have dates for things like, hey, did I send a personalized LinkedIn connection request? Did I send them an email if I had their email access? And also, did I get an interview? If I did, what date was that interview? Who did I interview with? Those type of things. It's a lot of information to share. Quick plug for something that can help you with this. There is a product called Teal that is actually free, and it's basically a CRM for job hunting. So if you're going through LinkedIn primarily, it's really great on a PC or a Mac to be able to pull that information in for you and help you get a lot of that information. But you can also track this the old-fashioned way using Google Sheets or Excel. I just want to say thank you so much for watching my video. I really appreciate it. And this channel is all about just pulling back the curtain and giving you the reality of what's really happening in the job hunting world and to give you all the tools that you need to win. So one thing I'll ask for you, if you do have a complete nightmare job hunting story to share, please drop in the comments. I'd love to possibly feature that in an episode. Also, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Those, of course, will help this channel get more engagement, help grow the channel, and of course, help other people get jobs. Along with that, please, if you do know someone that's in the trenches looking for the job now, share this video, share my channel with them. They will thank you. This is something that's designed to help everybody get a job. So thank you again for viewing, and see you next time.